You all come on in here, grab a seat, pull up to my kitchen table. This is going to be one for the books. Do you see these two? These two. Whew, boy, I got a whole bunch to say. I got a whole bunch to say. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video and welcome to Kitchen Table Talk Live with SpillitBoy TV. I know you've seen that photo that I actually show right there. And listen, these two people, these are two of the most animated folk that you will probably ever encounter. Some of the most animated folks you'll ever encounter, and that is Carlos King and Mariah Huq. They truly, truly are. And here's the thing. I have strong feelings about both. And anybody who's been with me for any amount of time, you already know that this is going to be one for the books. Those of you who are just meeting me, hey, welcome. I am SpillitBoy TV, and this is Kitchen Table Talk Live with SpillitBoy TV. And I go all the way, way back. You know, I've been doing reality TV reviews and things for years and years. And Married to Medicine has always been like one of my favorite shows. I have had quite a ride with Mariah Huq. To say it real loosely, people know, not one of my favorite characters, but it's really a strange relationship that I have with the Mariah Huq brand. Whereas Mariah, I've always said she's not a person that I would hang out with. Her and I could not hang out. We just couldn't. We would just be at each other. Though creatively and as a businesswoman, I have the utmost respect for Mariah Huq. So it's a very strange tightrope walk that I do when it comes to Mariah, because I'm just going to call it like I call it. I'm not going to pull anything from it. I'm not going to play with it. I'm going to say, no, I don't like that. No, Mariah, I'm going to do that. And it's always been this dance when it comes to me, Mariah, and Quad. Same thing with Quad. I love Quad. Everybody knows that. But if Quad is out of order, I'm a yanker. That's just the way it is. So I went into this a little bit different. So this is where I'm telling you, it's the one for the books. So sit down. If you think this is getting ready to be one of those videos where I just drag Mariah, I'm not going to do it. So you can click off right now. I'm not going to sit here and drag her. Now, am I going to backpedal and pussy pop on the things and the feelings that I've had about Mariah over the years? No, I'm not going to do it. So like I said, one for the books, you might as well pull up, grab you a drink, and figure out what's going on. I'm in my bag, and I think that's where I'm going to be, okay? So here's the thing. And Carlos King, I have the utmost respect for. He is the king of reality television. Yes, he is, as far as producers go and creators go when it comes to producing and creating reality shows. He is that guy. But Carlos has questionable moves at times. Just because you're the king of reality TV, and I love reality TV, that doesn't give you a pass. I've been watching Carlos really intent lately. And some of these moves that Carlos made, I wasn't getting. And then tonight, I'm getting ready to call Carlos on some of these moves that he's made. Why do I think he's made these moves? I don't really know right now, but I got a sneaking suspicion that there's some things coming down the pike with Mr. Carlos. And dare I say, Carlos, you wouldn't be doing a little bit of clout chasing, would you? Because why would you have to clout chase? Oh, we're going to talk about it. Yes, we are. So let's start here. Mariah. So Carlos sits down. He has this here interview with Mariah. This is the part one of it. Okay, he's been doing it. He's been doing it. Carlos has jumped into the arena of YouTube. Okay, so he's kind of, when I first started seeing this, I was like, is he kind of like stepping down into this realm? Because it kind of felt like that after pandemic, all the reality stars kind of start stepping down. But see, there's money on the table. See, you must understand YouTube presence and reality show. See, there was a point where they looked at us as free advertisement. They've always known that we were here. They've always known what we bring to the table. But I think they started paying attention a lot during the pandemic to the fact that there actually is money on the table. Because again, a lot of this is all about numbers. Who better to talk about a reality show than the person on the reality show? Now, me, I've always been one of those people. I think them being in our realm is ridiculous up until now. Because again, it's about numbers and it's about money. Okay, it's about numbers and it's about money. We are just that. We've always been free advertisement. We're the advertisement that you didn't know that you actually needed. But how valuable were we? We've always been valuable. We've always been valuable. You don't have to put any money out. There's people down there giving, you need to go watch this show. You need to go watch this show, and you ain't paid nothing for it, whether it be good or bad. And then you're getting, it's not an overwash of, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. There's some of us like, I can't stand this shit. It's the advertisement that you needed, that you didn't know you needed, that you were grateful to have. And over the years, they've done nice things. They've reached out. But again, I always felt like them reaching down or stepping down. I think it's kind of the dynamic of you reviewing a show that you're a part of. To me, still is weird. It's weird for actual actors and actresses, because that's what they are, reality shows. They've turned out to be actors and actresses. But for them to be reviewing their own shows is just weird. But people will watch because, again, you have inside. You have the inside scoop. You have the scoop I can't give you. I wasn't on the set. So it works. It works. So doesn't it make sense that at some point Carlos King would actually find his way down here? But of course. Let's see, there's something that did it first. Heavenly is one of the ones that came down. Heavenly and Candy are two of the ones that came down and started reviewing their own shows and actually hit a lick. They made a splash in the YouTube streets. So Carlos, it seems to me, has now followed, and then he partnered himself with Heavenly. Now he did some stuff. He started building his little YouTube empire as well. But he jumped over and he started doing shows for Bravo. Well, Carlos is everything owned. So he jumps over to the Bravo side of things and he's talking about Married to Medicine. And you've paired yourself with Dr. Heavenly, who has already formed this relationship with YouTubers, with the YouTube community. And you just jump right in. So dare I say, Carlos, did you clout chase off of Heavenly? Just a tad. That's the way I see it. And yeah, I do dare say it because this is my kitchen table. And it feels like that's what he did. Because does he always agree with Heavenly? No, they've gotten into some little spats over there and different things like that where, he don't need that aggravation. And what did he have to do with Married to Medicine? Come on over to my side. Come on over and see what I got going on. Same thing that the rest of the YouTubers are doing. Right? Right? Now, Heavenly is entertaining. We go over because there's tea. There's tea. And if you want, you go over there and take where she got and go back to your channel and review. But when I first looked at it, I was like, of course she's going to kill us in numbers because she has the inside track. So all in all, again, numbers, money, attendance, it all works. Carlos jumped right in and grabbed a little piece of it because are there people that would watch Carlos if he just bust out, just start doing Married to Medicine reviews? Sure, yeah. But if he jumped in with somebody from Married to Medicine, which a Carlos King could do because he is Carlos King, wouldn't it speed up the process? Right. So that was something that I really wanted to say. I wanted to say it. It hit me. That's how I feel about it. Y'all hit the comments. Let me know what you think about that. But I've been thinking about that for quite a while. Quite a while. All this season of Married to Medicine, I just been kind of looking at Carlos, not so much with a side eye, but just saying, I see you, bro. I see you. And it felt like he clout chased off the Dr. Heavenly. I said it. I said it. Now, it's worked for all of us because it's been very entertaining. But Carlos King, again, he could grab interviews with the Married to Medicine women. But would the attendance be exactly like it was if he had never paired up with Dr. Heavenly? Why don't I think so? I don't think so. I think it kicked things up a notch. I don't think he may not have even had that idea before he got over there with Heavenly. But knowing Carlos. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Mariah and Carlos, which is why we're here. Mariah and Carlos, they sit down. I'm going to say this. Get comfortable because I took a minute. This was a few days ago. I didn't jump right in here. So, oh, God. Nope. I sat back and I had to think. I said, I want something different out of this. Because at first, I really wasn't even going to watch it. Because I already know how I feel about Mariah and the past of Married to Medicine. She's not on the show. What are they getting ready to go rehash some old mess that we've heard 1,000 times over? Mariah, her dismount from Married to Medicine. What else? What else? Oh, okay, so Quad's been kicked off the island. Now we want Mariah's take on how she feels. Oh, is it Quad's karma? I'm like, I don't even want to hear it really. But then I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and give this a chance because Carlo's been doing a lot of different shuffling and moving, and we know this story. So, like, really, why? I mean, of course, Mariah's going to definitely sit on screen and say, well, no, I don't think. Oh, no, I'm not happy. But I said, give this a chance. So I really did go into this with a clear mind. And I have to say, kudos to you, Mariah, because I think I gave you a fair chance that I have not given you in the past. There's been time, and I am guilty, where I haven't given her. You see how I told you how I was going into it. I wasn't even coming with a clear mind and giving her a chance to really say what it is that she had to say without already prejudging what it was. Well, I did that. I came in without this is what happened with me and Mariah way back when. This is how I feel. And I just listened to her. And I actually heard a lot of what she was saying. I heard a lot of what she was saying. And some of it, I said, my God, how unfair some of these things were. How unfairly was she actually treated with a lot of this stuff, because it's a lot to say, oh, yeah, you got kicked off your own show. Yeah. But when you really get down to it, how much nerve is that to be kicked off of a show you created? So it really made me like just really listen to her. Now, I'm not going to change some of the things that in the past, some things she did do naturally. She says, well, I don't know that it was so much her karma or this, that thing, and the other, all that stuff. It is what it is. Her and Quad fell out. They got a nasty fallout. She is basic. She was being very forward and being very honest on a lot of this stuff. Like she basically said, in the past, I missed Quad because how many times have we heard people ask her, and Carlos has asked her before, do you miss Quad? And she said, in the past I missed her, but not now. But not now. And I said, well, thank you for being honest, because I'm sitting like, I know how I am as an old nasty piece of Capricorn, and I do hold grudges. I work on it every day. I work on it every day. It is an uphill battle. Trust me, an uphill battle with greasy bottom shoes. Child, listen, once I ain't fooling with you, honey. Anyway, but she said, I don't miss her now. The person that she is now, she ain't even my type of girl anymore. So no, I don't miss her now. And I was like, thank you for being honest, because I felt like you ain't missed her in a long time. If ever. If ever. I think you miss being in her presence, because being in her presence puts you in the show. And she was very honest about her feelings about being voted off, which she pretty much has always been. She's always been very irritated and bothered by that. And why shouldn't she be? Why shouldn't she be? So, yes, do you miss being around Quad? Yeah, because being around Quad would have put her in the filming of the show and all that stuff. But like a personal friendship, no. Mm-mm. And there's times in this interview where she cleared up things that had to do with Quad that she didn't have to. So I will give her a lot of points on that. The whole thing about the physical altercation that they supposedly had at STK, that Mariah said that was a lie. That was a lie. It never actually got physical. Quad picked up my purse and threw my purse, and I wanted to get at her, and people got in between us, and I never was able to get at her. We never even touched each other. People made such a big deal about that. And she cleared that up. She didn't have to clear that up. She could have left that right where it was. She cleared that up. She also jumped in there, and Dr. Heatherly, you need your ass whooped. She jumped right in there and said, Quad never lived with me. She said, and I can't even remember if she's ever stayed overnight at my house. I don't know that she's ever slept overnight at my house. She said Heavenly is completely lying, because Heavenly drove that when they were having their spat that Quad lived with Mariah, and people had took that and ran on with it. And she cleared that up. She did not have to. She did not have to. She not friends with Quad. She did not have to use her time in her interview to say, no, Quad was not a homeless bum living in her car and had to come live with me. She cleared that right on up, and she did not have to. So kudos to Mariah for that as well. She does feel like some of it is her karma. And, the fact that you sat through it with me, now you're seeing it for yourself. She didn't say, I'm happy for it, but she said, basically she's seeing, how I felt, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I thought it was very interesting when she said that she thought by now that Quad should actually have her own show. That she should have been given a spinoff by Bravo. I thought that was groovy. And the way she said it, I actually believed her, that she felt that way, that if she was still on board with things, that she would have tried to basically spin her off. Naturally, she would have made money off her back, but naturally, she would have spun her off. Here's the thing, though. The truth of the matter is, Quad was always the breakout star of Married to Medicine. She was and is. She was and is. Even with this being voted off the island stuff and all, she was and she is the breakout star of Married to Medicine from season 1 until now. She is the breakout star. When people think Married to Medicine, they think Quad and Mariah from the door. They think about all the other girls later, Jackie and Simone and all of you all. I'm sorry, ladies, but you all are an afterthought. When you think Married to Medicine, the first thing you think is Quad and Mariah. And Mariah ain't been on the show in many, many seasons, so that say a whole lot, don't it? Anyway, here's the thing, though, that I'm going to put this out there, and I'm going to be very honest with this. I said, self, Quad, and a reality show. And myself says, no. Would it work? No. I don't think so. Not at all. And God, y'all know I love Quad. Y'all know that. Y'all know I live for Quad, always have lived for Quad. But do I think that Quad would do well in a reality show about her life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She would be okay, but I think it would end up being one of those shows just like, it would be no different than something on WeTV, the Braxton. I don't even think it would be as big as the Braxtons. It would just be one of those. I don't think it would do like she would one season. I don't think she would. I don't think her following would hold it. Her following wouldn't hold it. What she actually does outside of Married to Medicine, though she makes really good moves. She's a really smart businesswoman. Yes, she travels and all of this, and she puts on the cute clothes and her hair is done and her makeup's done. Who's watching? We'll watch her on Instagram, but who's watching? Who's watching? Do you think that the people would actually come to Bravo to watch Quad? I don't think so. I just don't think so. And then even if it was a show of like finding love for Quad, isn't that more like a VH1 thing than a Bravo thing? It would take her out of the realm of where she came from. The Married to Medicine following would not follow Quad into that kind of thing. I really don't think so. I think that she is still more impactful as a friend to the show than she would be on a full show about her and her friendships. She doesn't even have those types of friendships where there's people. She hardly got anybody to film with on this. Her people in her real life ain't into this stuff. She's a sorority girl. Honey, the sorority sisters ain't jumping down here doing no drama. Quad's high piece is drama, one-liners, reading the girls, letting the girls have it. Sorority sisters reading each other. Don't y'all remember when they did the sorority sisters shows back in the day? Remember, they didn't even make it a whole season. Them sororities pulled together, baby, and said, get that shit off of here now. That, she do better being a friend to the show on here. Now, if they could actually get her on like an Atlanta Housewives, and maybe she start dating somebody and start pursuing a relationship, and she falls into a role as an Atlanta housewife, yes, I could see that. Something like that I could see. But Quad all by herself doing the show, nope. I don't even think it would actually pull like Candy and the OLG thing, the show about the restaurant, the aunties. I don't think Quad would actually pull that. And y'all are hearing that coming from me. And I know some of y'all are shocked as hell, but I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. I don't feel like that would, I don't think that ticket would make them, nope, not at all. Not at all. So there's one of my things. That was one of my aha moments. I walked away. I was like, nope, I don't see that at all. I really don't. Mariah's been up to a whole lot of stuff. She talked about Sleek Studios, which is this whole, she had Aiden purchase her a whole block for her birthday. That was her thing. She wanted a block. She wanted to build herself a studio that she's been working on for about 4 years. She's doing the whole Tyler Perry Studios, like a small version of her own for, very much that. Very, very nice. Very nice. Here is one thing that I did laugh at. I said, now, Mariah, you pulled a little bullshit when you said, because we had a whole talk about her being iced out and how the ladies, like the studio, like Bravo, literally had the ladies come together and do the dirty work, basically, and iced her out the same way they iced Quad out. And she talked about her and Quad and how Quad kind of got on board to help get rid of her, and she basically was leading the charge, that kind of thing. She was saying, I always thought that Quad was going to be the breakout star. That's a lie. That is a lie. I wouldn't care. I don't care what mind frame I sit down under. That, my dear, is a lie. That is a lie. I don't think that you always believed that she would be the breakout star. I think you resent that she is the breakout star. I have always felt that way, and I don't care what interview I watch, I will always feel that way. She was always brought it, and she admitted it and said it out of her mouth. They wanted her to be the underdog, and by they, she's talking about Bravo. The they was you too. The they was you too, Mariah. You always pinned her to be your underdog. And I've always said that from the door. I clocked it from episode 1. Episode 1, her first interaction with Carrie Wells told the story that you always brought her here to be your underdog. She was your underling. So that ain't no, well, there is a they. I didn't know Bravo was in on it, but I knew you was in on it. I've always seen it. I've always felt that way. And she ended up being the breakout star. And I've always felt like you resented it. And I've always felt like you felt some type of way about it. I've always thought that. I've always felt like that, like it was pretty much like an embarrassment to you, even with the people that, mostly with the people that know you around. That was like the big thing with me, with Mariah being taken off of the show as a talent, is like, it was always like a thorn in her side. I brought you in under me, and now you are the breakout star. I'm not even on the show anymore. That's embarrassing. That would be embarrassing. That would be embarrassing. No matter that you still get a check for EP and different things and show creator and all, the fact that your underling is visible and you're not visible. Every time she hit the screen, I'm sure it irritated her. Every time. So, no, I'm sorry. I'm not buying that part, Mariah. You did and said some good things. That I still say I call bullshit. I call bullshit. And no, I don't believe it was all Bravo. I believe you actually presented it to Bravo like that. And now you're saying that they was on board with that. So I'll go with they went with you along with it. But I believe that was always your situation. You brought her in. And because just things you said. I had to get her together, teach her about being a wife, teach her about being in this lifestyle. And all. That was you. Those things came out of your mouth, sis. Just like in this interview, you literally sat there and said, Quad had a break. She said, I thought she's funny. I think she's hilarious, this type of thing, and all that. I think she has star quality. They got footage of her that they didn't use. That is great footage. She was having a hard time breaking into the role that they wanted her to be. Said she had an issue with the cameras at first. Yeah, that's different. It's different for anybody. First time out doing some reality show stuff, not looking at the camera and all that kind of stuff. But when you made that comment, dear, because you are so forthcoming and you are so real, Mariah, you sat and said she had a breakdown in my garage on the first season, and they still have the footage and they've never shown it. And it was hilarious. Wasn't y'all best friends? Wasn't y'all best friends? Now, there ain't no way. There ain't no way that my bestie will have a breakdown. You're right. You're damn right. Y'all would never see the footage. If I was filming a reality show and Chet ended up having some type of a breakdown, I wouldn't care. First of all, it wouldn't be hilarious to me. Do you understand? Him having a breakdown of any type, would never strike me as hilarious. There would be nothing funny about it of any type. And you're damn right, you would never, ever see the footage. You would never see the footage. That footage wouldn't see the light of day. And if it did, somebody wouldn't see the light of day anymore. It would never happen. So, again, see, these are some of the things when I tell y'all that when it comes to me and Mariah, it's like, I'm not my kind of chick. That's supposed to be your bestie. She had a breakdown, and these were her words and not mine. Go back and watch. By all means, please give Carlos King a click and a view, baby, because he's here for the clicks and the views. I said it. He's here for the clicks and the views, just like everybody else. She had a breakdown in my garage. It was hilarious. And they still have the footage. And they've never shown it. So I said, did they have a plan or did you have a plan? Yeah, you had a plan. The plan was to clown her. The plan has always been to clown her. But the universe wasn't having it. The universe wasn't having it. And I still say, when it comes to Quad and Mariah, the universe stepped in and put the floppy shoes on Mariah. Put the floppy shoes and the red wig on Mariah. Period. And I'll never take that back. That's just how I feel. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. So that's that. We got into the whole thing about Heavenly being basically a puppet master. Now, I agree with Mariah on this. I said, oh, Mariah. When she said about Heavenly, like everybody sees the plays. And then Heavenly, I think, has destroyed some of her character as goes to the show here on YouTube. Because she's become very vocal. She used to have these plays. We weren't privy to all those plays. But Mariah, from that seat she sit in, she sees things. And then we're seeing it now because Heavenly is so real and she's so out there, and then she runs her mouth. And when she gets on her YouTube channel, her mouth just goes. I know Heavenly, I know they be like this. Oh, make her shut up, make her shut up. But Heavenly basically tells you that she keeps up shit over there. I do it for the show. I do this, I do that. Heavenly is busy. If you just listen to her, the things she says about, I did this and I did that and I made sure of this person being on the show and I did this. She's all in the shit. She basically is she does Carlos's job over at Married to Medicine. Some of this, I brought this person to the show, I brought that person to the show, I make sure that the shit keeps rolling, that kind of thing. And the fact that you're actually telling us this, it makes you look at Heavenly differently on the show. Yes, she's funny, but then you're like, you're not a reality show star at all anymore. You're a producer. You're a producer of mess. You're a producer of mess. So do we ever take anything seriously? If it doesn't involve her children, I basically take everything that comes out of Heavenly's mouth with a grain of salt. I really do. I believe everything she says when it comes to Alora and her boys, but and her husband, because she protects her family like a mama bear. But everything else and every interaction she has with anybody else on the show, I really don't take it seriously anymore. I feel like it's all for the show, and you will stir up some shit whenever you feel like you need to. If it's good for the show, you will hurt a bitch feelings if you need to. I don't think any of your friendships are real with any of these ladies on the show anymore at all. I really, really don't. And Mariah touched on this. The whole thing of, she said, how some of the authenticity, and me and her agree on this, some of the authenticity that made me love Married to Medicine, where Married to Medicine was different than the other shows, it was always authentic. It's not anymore. I have to tell you all, if you've been watching me, you know I ain't did no reviews because I'm not even caught up. I'm having a hard time catching up because I'm like 3 episodes behind, because it's like everything else. It's like everything else. I don't feel like anything's authentic. When I sit down to watch Married to Medicine now, I feel just like I feel when I sit down and watch Love and Hip Hop. And guess what? I don't watch Love and Hip Hop anymore. I used to review Love and Hip Hop New York, Atlanta, Miami. I don't watch any Love and Hip Hops anymore. I literally just kind of felt it, just a natural, it was like a natural progression. I just, one after the other, I just fell out of it. Nothing personal. It just stopped holding my interest, because if I'm gonna watch scripted TV, I might as well go watch scripted TV. And that's how I felt. And even with my housewives is just, it's hard. It's hard to hold on, because again, it lost what it was. The reality is damn near gone. And Married to Medicine always provided that. The reality was still there, but it's been slipping. It's been slipping and slipping and slipping away. And now that they're actually down here on YouTube running their mouth and doing these interviews and carrying on in real time, I feel like I'm losing grasp on it. It's just, it's faker and faker and faker. I don't believe anything. It's like I don't believe anything. And the more you hear, the less I like it. It's like, are you kidding? I don't know. So I had to get with Mariah with that. I was like, wow, I'm sitting here. I'm really, like I said, I sat down and I really am listening to Mariah. I'm not judging her so much. I'm listening to what you're saying. And she not telling no lies. Like, she really isn't telling any lies. She was digging into some stuff that was really, I was like, oh my gosh. She even, listen, I'm going to get to a place here in a minute. She let Carlos have it too. She sat right there and, but see, now that's a part of Mariah that I do like. Mariah don't really, she ain't got no off switch. Okay. And she got Carlos's ass right together too. I said, girl, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's a game. Like, she, even with the whole thing with Quad, she said, they're not getting rid of Quad. It's a game. The whole, I don't think they're actually pushing her out. Neither do I. Neither do I. I have all intentions on coming back in, because I believe she's in the finale episode and she'll be at the reunion. And I'm not, and listen to me when I tell you, I didn't stop watching because Quad's not on the show, because I like all the ladies in the show. So it's not just Quad. I like all the ladies, but that little stunt they pulled there just kind of shifted some things. And it's not, because there's many episodes. Quad hasn't been in like every episode in a couple seasons, but it just shifted, and it just didn't. All of it's crazy. Even Phaedra being on the show. What for? What for? What? 2 episodes in, we realized she ain't Married to Medicine either. All of it is a lie. They just needed a reason to get her on. That was all for ratings. That's all. It's a play. All of this feels like a play, like they're puppet mastering us. It's not like we're watching reality anymore. This doesn't feel like reality. This feels scripted mess. And we go to Love and Hip Hop for scripted mess. I didn't come to Married to Medicine for scripted mess. I really didn't. So all of that. I've always questioned the friendship between Jackie and Heavenly. Who buys that? Who buys it? Because the more I see Heavenly, the less genuine I feel like the friendships are. Jackie and Simone. How Jackie and Simone kind of fell out. Well, where did that come from? Where'd that come from? Because I felt like Simone and Quad were pretty close at one point, and then that just fell all the way apart. But then we thought that Mariah was always fighting about Quad, and we found out on this interview that the big enemy is Jackie and Simone. The one, because I always felt like she was so hurt about the things with Quad. She's more hurt about her fallout with Simone and how Simone backstabbed. She felt like Simone backstabbed her more so than Quad. When she said Simone, it came out that Simone actually went, to Quad, told her, they wanted me to put the nail in your coffin. And with Mariah, she went to Mariah and said, they wanted me to be the one to end you. And that's what she called her, backstabbing and fence riding Simone. And I immediately thought about the friendship and the fallout between her and Jackie. The friendship and the fallout. Remember, right before that, before Jackie started having the problems with Curtis, and then she had it was like back to back. She had all these issues about Curtis, and then she had the issues with Simone. Is Simone really that person? Is she the fence riding person that the production goes to and be like, girl, get this moving? Because that's how it kind of got painted. Like Heavenly just is, she's a voluntary shit starter. But Simone is to throw your rock and hide your hand, girl. Are you serious? I'm like, wow. It just makes everything look so different. I said, this is crazy. But let me talk about real fast how, and we're going to get out of here, how Mariah got Carlos King all the way together. And when he talked, she said, yeah. Because, he came in with his interview, same way he always do. He's loud and he's, yeah, girl, yeah. I'm like, oh, God, the two of them together is going to drive me nuts. Yeah, girl, I wanted to give you your flowers, girl, because, yes, you are the queen. Yes. This, that, and she said, yeah, because we know you love the girls. She shut him down with the fake bullshit right in the, I said, now, Mariah, it's Mariah. She just said, no, honey, because, you love the girls, and you're going to give me my flowers. What kind of flowers are they? Because flowers are always different. I said, see, she's going to take you to task. I was here for it. I said, she's going to take you to task, Carlos. You're not going to blow smoke up her ass and tell her that somebody got a hookah. Honey, you say I'm the queen, honey, then I'm the queen. You can't come in here and tell me I'm the queen, but then you just told Toya she was the queen. You told Quaz she was the queen. What type of flowers are they? And she basically took him to task about his situation with Heavenly and that collaboration. I said, oh, and that's what made me start spinning. And I opened my ears and said, let me listen to Miss Mariah. Let me put my feelings aside about what I think I see, and let me listen to Mariah. Mariah got Carlos right the hell together. Said, now let's do an interview. But she pulled him together right in the beginning. And then she asked him flat out, which is something I always wanted to, why do you care? Why do you care so much about Married to Medicine and whether or not it makes it and what it comes across? And why do you care? What is your investment? I said, yeah, Carlos, answer. And he gave it old nasty Carlos King spin. When I do that, it's me giving you your flowers. Because of this, that thing, and the other. She's like, yeah, but what kind of flowers is it? I said, girl, she's calling you on your bullshit, Miss Carlos. Yes, she is, honey. See, but here it is. The truth of the matter is good for you. That's why you care so much. This was the brand for you to clout chase after. It was good for you and your YouTube community. Isn't that right, Carlos? No shame in it. It is what it is. But Mariah called it right on out. Right on out. And then he did he was talking, and then I listened real good, and he pulled it. And he said, "The great I am, basically. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the king of reality. You are all of those things, my dear. Yes, you are." And then he said his true self popped out of there, and he said, "This is the one thing that stuck with me. And when I give y'all this, I'm getting ready to leave." When he said, "I don't feel like any of these other girls appreciate me giving the show a voice." And by those other girls, he was talking about everybody except for Quad, Heavenly, Mariah, and Toya. So we're talking what, Simone and Contessa and everybody else. Everybody else, they don't really appreciate the voice that he gave to the show. Okay. I guess that's fair enough. I guess that's fair enough. But I'm going to say this as I take my leave right here. Yeah. Yeah, I think you push some things along because of who you are. No one could take away who you are, Carlos. You are who you are, and you are the great I am when it comes to reality television. Yes, you are, my dear. But Married to Medicine was doing just fine. They weren't swallowed up in the abyss. They weren't they weren't dying in the water. Real Housewives of Atlanta is dying in the water. Married to Medicine was cool. We thought that Phaedra coming was getting ready to blow something up, and so did you. And you were building your YouTube empire. And this was a stepping stone for you to clout chase off of them while giving them a voice. See, two things can be true all at one time. And on that, I'm getting ready to take my drink and go on and close down my kitchen table. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about this. Leave it down there in the comments. Let me know where y'all are. Are you shocked with some of the stance that I've taken here? I know I was. And I think I was very fair with Mariah. And I'm glad that I was, and that I opened my ears and listened instead of prejudging and not hearing what she had to say, because I think she really had some very strong, good points, and really did open up my eyes to a lot of things. A lot of things that have happened back there in that background and in those boardrooms that we're not privy to them. And I was glad I actually listened to Mariah. I really did get a lot out of this interview. All in all, Carlos, it was a good interview. But in your interview, baby, she did let your ass have it. She let your ass have it. And yeah, it is what it is. Still love you, but it is what it is. I feel like you clout chased a little bit off Miss Heavenly. Heavenly, I think you've damaged yourself a bit with this stuff. Quad, girl, I don't know, child. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. This has been Kitchen Table Talk Live with Spillitboy TV. I always enjoy y'all, honey, and I still enjoy Married to Medicine, but I just got to pull myself together so I can fall back in line, because I've fallen completely out of line. I got to catch up. And feel like